Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the cabin.
Lekter and AJ with you on this dark, snowy Tuesday morning. I didn't actually realize it was snowing until I looked outside just now.
Must have just started.
Yeah.
It wasn't snowing when I came in here.
No, I didn't think so either.
No, it must have just started.
Generally, if there's snow, you feel it, see it, just sprinkling on your nose.
Usually how it works when the morning show theme song comes on in the morning.
I mean, I'm
the
very...
snow starts to fall.
Yeah.
You know, the sun slowly starts rising.
I've never been shy about my lack of observation skills, though. So
I know.
Did cross my mind.
Almost arrogant about it.
Almost arrogant. Belligerent.
Yeah.
Even. So it kind of didn't faze me when I looked outside and saw it snowing and was like, yeah, okay, I probably just didn't notice.
With my superior observation skills? How did I not notice?
No, that tracks. Yeah. Anyway, happy Tuesday morning. It's minus 4.2 degrees in Yellowknife right now. Coming up on the show, I had a moment of awkwardness that I think I'm just going to chalk up to an ongoing saga, which is Lekter struggles to navigate the world 2020 edition.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That is vague.
Yeah. I mean, it's been an ongoing thing up until this time.
Yeah.
But 2020, I mean, has just been... It's been tough for everybody.
It has.
It's added some new wrinkles, some challenges on a world that I already found quite challenging. So that's coming up.
Well, I can't wait.
Yeah.
You've really set the table for this.
And AJ burned the roof of his mouth last night, so if he talks funny, that might be why.
It's because I can't help myself.
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
Lekter and AJ with you, Ollie milling about somewhere in the lobby, bringing you your news throughout the morning. It is still snowing. It is now minus 3.9 degrees. That's right. We have improved by 0.3 degrees in the last 15 minutes.
It's fantastic.
Things are looking up. That's all right. AJ, you just told me something that may enrage some people to know. As we know that the bottle shop here in Yellowknife has been... it's been a bit challenging for some people to get into. You know, obviously in the past, weekends were typically the busy time because a lot of, nobody's working during the day. But you've kind of had to, since COVID took over, the bottle shop shut down for some time. And then when it opened back up, it was limited capacity, of course. I think the hours were maybe a little bit reduced as well.
Yeah, and you couldn't go in. And then there was because they were closed, you had a huge backlog.
Right.
So people were showing up with like trucks worth of recyclables.
Yeah, it was kind of the same as the dump shutdown, of course, too.
Exactly.
Because, when that opened back up, then it was like, well, you may as well just write off the first 2 weeks because people are going to be camping out there to dump their stuff.
Oh, yeah, trailer loads.
But the bottle shop has been, it seems like in a lot of ways it has not quite returned to just like the normal flow of things. It was really nice before COVID happened. You could go, anytime if you found some time, maybe during the day, maybe even just your lunch hour, if you took a late lunch hour, and then you avoid that if there was a noon rush. But you would take your stuff in, and generally there was always a free bay right away. You dump your stuff in, they sort it all out for you. Basically, by the time you're done bringing stuff in, dumping it, and bringing it back to your car, they were done counting it up. You went to the cash counter. They paid you out. Super friendly staff, super quick. It was, I have to say, it was a delight before COVID.
That's my experience a week ago.
And that is potentially enraging. A lot of people have not had that experience. Now they have, I think, kind of made up for that by allowing you to just basically bag up your stuff. I don't even know if you needed to necessarily sort it, but just bag up your stuff and just leave it there.
Yeah, you could donate it to different sporting groups that sign up for sponsorship.
Which I think most people do anyway. They've
not me.
Not you.
No. No, I need that cash.
I earned that
That's
cash.
my part-time job is dropping those.
That's right.
That's my house chore.
That's your side hustle.
Yeah, that's my allowance for the house. But yeah, they went to like clear bags, and then like we went during COVID when they had first opened up.
When it was closed, you just busted in.
Yeah, I busted in.
Wow.
I went, no, I will recycle.
I will process my own bottles.
I will save this world. And we showed up and they gave you like a list, and we had to siphon, go through it ourselves. So we had to separate, cans or not cans, like glass bottles, dark glass bottles,
aluminum,
et cetera.
and yeah.
So we did all that, and it was fine. It actually worked pretty good. Everyone had their own little area in the parking lot where they're going through this all.
Right.
So it was a little bit much, but that was fine. And then after that, we thought, okay, well, let's just hold on to these for a while.
Right.
And then, a couple weeks ago, I took like 4 full bags, walked straight in. There was an open bay. I put in there. I even, I usually try and like separate them as I go.
Yeah.
Like I'll put some bottles over here, some cans over there.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
You're an organized person. You can't help it.
Exactly. But I have to help it because of COVID. I can't. I'm not supposed to touch this stuff. So he made that very quick snap. Like, don't touch those.
Yeah.
And piece of cake. Walk straight in. Open bay. I think people are overreacting.
You are angering a lot of people.
I don't care.
Tuesday morning.
I don't care. It was a breeze.
So this is Saturday morning at what? 8, I don't know when it opens on Saturdays. 8, 9
I'm going to say it was around 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Just a leisurely.
You'd say the busiest time you could possibly go to the recycling depot.
Yeah.
I walked straight in.
Wow. Yeah. Not another soul in sight.
Well, there was one other guy at another bay. And then as I finished, another person came in. As that other guy finished, another person came. So not one person was ever in line.
There was just like pleasant music playing in the background. You nodded at each other.
Oh,
hey?
God. Yeah, a cute child greeted me at the door.
Of course.
Hello, sir. Come
Held
on
the
in.
door for you, probably.
Oh, man. What an experience.
What a dream.
Yeah. It smelled like a summer breeze in there.
I don't know how they accomplished that. But
a lot of Febreze.
Jeez. So it's people who make that stench.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was the bottles.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's enraging. Because there have been lineups on weekday mornings.
I think
to
it's
get
people
into the bottle
overreacting.
shop.
I think they're thinking Saturday at 10 o'clock.
You might be onto something.
I might be hiding in plain sight here.
Yeah. People are driving by, at 1, 2 in the afternoon thinking, well, maybe it's slowed down a bit. And there's just lineups at the door. They're thinking, well, no, there's not a chance in hell I'm going to go on a weekend.
Yeah, it'd be packed.
That would be stupid. Yeah. It's chaos.
Saturday at 10 o'clock? What's the point?
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, you may have unearthed something very interesting. Forget what you thought you knew about the bottle shop. Go on the perceived busiest times. And if it doesn't work out quite the way it did for AJ, well, I don't think you have anyone to blame but yourselves.
Or me.
Quite frankly. Or AJ.
You can blame me. I don't care.
I could blame AJ. He could take it.
Yeah, I got my cash. I'm good.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
And it looks like the snow has pretty much stopped.
That was short-lived.
Interesting. What a weird morning we're experiencing so far. Still pitch black outside. Snow on the sidewalks. The hardest working maintenance staff in the north, the Bromley crew, out there first thing in the morning, sweeping off the sidewalks. But in case you are subjected to a not as hardworking building maintenance staff, which would be literally anyone, because
a disservice,
they're the best.
Yeah.
If you're walking by their building, anyone else's building, just be safe. It might be a little slippery on the sidewalks this morning.
That's how I know it's snowing. I'll see them running down the street.
Yeah.
With 2 shovels in hand.
Oh, yeah. They'll have that like full on, just like massive Zamboni like snow sweeper out at like 6:30 in the morning. You're on your way to work and they're
so efficient.
Getting it done already.
So efficient.
Man, incredible. Shout out to the Bromley maintenance staff.
Yeah.
Stu and
Tom.
Tom. There we go. I was like, it's another very simple, like 3-letter name.
Stu and Tom.
Yeah. Stu and Tom. Getting it done on a daily basis. Before we get to the main theme of this morning's program, which is entitled What Penny Did,
Oof.
I have a little story.
Okay.
About yesterday night. So I was taking the dogs outside. I alluded to this in the intro, my ongoing struggles to navigate the year, life, and in the year 2020.
More specifically.
Yeah. So taking the dogs outside last night, and we're going around the block, and we're coming up to this car, and I notice across the street, a person is leaving a building. So she's walking across the street. Clearly, this car is like the only one parked on the street, and it's her car, obviously. So she's walking towards that. We're about to cross paths. You know, normally I'm basically just like making sure that if the person is coming onto the sidewalk, I've got my dogs on a short enough leash that they're not going to get in someone's way.
Sure.
Because, some people they'll greet dogs with open arms and be like, oh my God, your dogs are so cute. Can I pet them? And then, sure, long leash. But some people,
Oh, some people go to the other side of the street.
Some people cross the street. Yeah, and fair enough. So I always like to make sure that at the very least, first kind of impression, first instinct is to give the sidewalk to the people. Because, well, I guess people are above dogs in the social pecking order.
That's on them.
I guess.
They should like dogs. That's on them.
Right?
You should force those dogs on them.
But we don't want to get into that because that's a whole another kettle of fish.
Fair.
Anyway, this person's crossing the street and I'm walking by and I kind of thought that maybe I recognized them, but I wasn't sure. They were wearing a mask because, of course, they had just been inside. I can't remember which building, but they had just left a building. So they just had their mask on as they crossed the street to get to their car. And we crossed paths, and she looks up. And at that moment, I definitely thought I recognized her. I was like, oh, it's this person. And so I was like, oh, well, of course I'm going to say hi.
Oh, no.
So she looks up, and in that one moment where my brain goes from, you recognize this person. It's this person. Here's a pleasant greeting to greet them with. I take a breath. I go, hey. And in that moment where I take another step just to get a little bit closer, I realize I don't know this person at all.
And what was her response?
Her response was to say hi back.
Makes sense so far. Pretty standard, I'd say.
And I just had a moment where I realized that she realized that I thought she was someone completely different.
Well, at least she didn't. Hey, that's not a big deal.
But I said it with it wasn't like
gusto.
Normally I'll almost look away if I don't know someone and I'm just doing like a pleasant greeting just for acknowledgement's sake.
The obligatory afternoon.
Exactly.
Morning.
Yeah. Just to be like, hey, this isn't a completely cold, heartless environment. We actually acknowledge each other's existence.
Hello, community member.
Yeah, that's right. Normally I'll kind of look away, but this was a very knowing glance kind of thing. Like, I know you.
Yeah. Like,
hey, how's it going? We're not going to get into a conversation right now, but if we weren't just, happen to be crossing paths, perhaps we would. Perhaps we would chat. I gave her that kind of obvious look, like, hi, I know you. How's it going? Yeah. She gave me a look like, who the hell is this? Get away from me.
Just say hi, put your head down and walk. I mean, it could have been way worse. You could have been like, hey, how did the cream work? And she'd be like, oh my gosh.
Well, and it occurred to me that this is something that we are going to have to figure out how to navigate.
But it's also a blessing, Scott. Because I'm in the grocery store with my mask on.
Yeah.
And so many times I get caught in aisle and I got to talk to people.
Yes.
It's a bit of a chore sometimes because you see people, you're like, okay, yes, I like you. You're a nice person.
Yeah.
But I want to get in. I want to get out here. I got things to do. I don't want to talk to every person I run into at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And now people aren't 100% sure if it's me. So they're not going to take that risk.
But, I mean, you kind of stand out.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. The cabin radio mask doesn't help.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll turn inside out.
Yeah. I hear you though. That was one of my original first fears when I moved to Yellowknife. It's there's no anonymity anymore. You can't go to the grocery store without seeing 3 people at any given time. And then you see them in one aisle and you might exchange a few words, a few pleasantries, and then you see them 3 more times down several different aisles. And what do you say then?
I know, the tin can syndrome. Because you go one way, you go, oh, hey, how's it going? Stop for a quick chat. Okay, great. Well, better get going.
Yeah.
You always have some urgent thing just because you don't want to keep talking.
That's right.
And then you see them on the other side of Tin Can Hill, and then it's just a simple, funny to see you here again. You just mumble a bunch of stuff. And then you move on.
Yeah. It's the worst.
It's the worst. So now with the mask, there's just less of a chance that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I like that part.
But I think we don't want to get into the habit and the day-to-day of a society that doesn't acknowledge people's existence. We still want to be a friendly place, right? I think that's one of the charms of living in a small town as opposed to a big city where people will, you cross on the sidewalk and you might not know the person. You know, chances are you've probably seen them before around, but you probably don't know them. But that you'll just have that moment of just acknowledgement.
Yeah, I know you. I recognize you.
Yeah.
What about masks with the "Hi, my name is ...
Oh, that would be helpful.
Mm-hmm. Hi, my name is Lekter. Oh, there he is, right there.
I like that.
The very long hair and the fact that he's 6'4", totally went right over my head.
Yeah.
But there it says right on his mouth.
But
that's Lekter.
Now I'm not even taking a chance. I just know.
Yep.
That's brilliant, AJ. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I think we've solved this one.
That's another one for the books.
We have mastered masked face blindness in the year of 2020. Thank you, AJ.
You're welcome.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Yesterday afternoon, there was an incident.
Yeah, because it's only touchy because we're concerned that her behavior will get her banned.
Right.
From the building.
Right.
I don't think that's the case.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Now, I wasn't around when it happened, but I came back.
Thank your lucky stars. That's why you're still in good health.
Yeah. Approximately what time did the incident occur, would you say?
About 1:30?
1:30.
Around that time?
Okay, so I was here. I was just recording.
Yep. It was around when I was having lunch.
Right.
And I had a bit of a late lunch.
Right.
It's about 1:30, I'd say.
Okay. Were you a witness to the incident?
I didn't see it firsthand.
Okay.
But I definitely got the first wave.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're joined by Ollie Williams, who... Ollie, were you a witness to said incident?
No, nowhere near it, mercifully. I was just several minutes after the incident, a guilty-looking dog was handed to me, and I was told, please look after this dog while the salvage operation begins.
Okay.
And I should note that Sarah would be in here to talk about this, but she just carried a bottle of Febreze out of the office, looking quite purposeful.
Right.
If there's any left.
So Sarah, if I'm to understand this correctly, was the only actual witness.
Oh no,
of the incident.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw it?
I just didn't see the act.
You just didn't see it occur.
Yeah.
Okay. So you made the obvious assumptions.
I would say I was first responder. I was first on the scene.
So there's actually nothing to prove it was Penny.
Correct. Except for the fact that she's the only dog in the office that we know of at that time.
Okay. And this was definitely a dog?
Okay.
Well, that raises another question.
Now, there are multiple dogs
yes.
that frequent this building.
Yep.
From time to time.
One dog is
several
too
of our
small
neighbors
to do the damage that was done.
I mean, Penny's small.
Yeah, but not as small as the other dog. And then there's Rue, Wilfred Laurier.
Right.
Who was not present at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
So
haven't seen Rue around in quite some time.
They're all working from home still.
Right.
So that brings us to Penny.
And if we haven't made it inescapably clear already what the incident was, I think that's because it's traditionally not breakfast conversation.
I'd argue that it traditionally is on this show.
I guess if you're Shooter McGavin,
yeah.
I mean, traditionally he ate these for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big bowl of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess depending on what lens you're looking through, this might be appropriate and topical breakfast conversation.
Yes. Yeah. I would compare it to Chernobyl.
Yes. There used to be birds that you could hear chirping throughout the building.
No longer.
Now silence.
There's a children's slide with moss on it. No one's been on it for 24 hours since
a rusty Ferris wheel
incident.
Just squeaking in the distance. It's miles away, but you can hear the squeaking clearly.
Yep. We've only just allowed people back into the building.
That's right. For tourism
certain
purposes,
limitations.
Actually.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're masked up properly.
You can take a picture of Ground Zero.
Yeah.
But you have to stay at least 3 office distances away.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm hearing rumors that there is a Netflix documentary in the works about about Penny's incident.
Yeah, Penny's yet to release the rights to that footage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is in the works.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to talk about. I think it's still a little too fresh.
Yeah.
My nose is tingling as we discuss it.
Right. A bit raw.
A bit raw indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this building may need to be burned to the ground. We're not 100% sure yet.
Yeah. And we won't be the ones to make that decision, thankfully.
Yeah.
That is Bromley and Son. They will have to assess the damage.
Yep.
And figure out where to go from there.
And luckily, I think we were on it fast enough that a lot of lives were saved.
Yes.
The first thing I did, I went out onto the street and I cordoned off this section of the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the other section across the street.
Right.
Because it travels so quickly.
Yes.
As we know.
There's a high foot traffic area.
We cleared the building instantly.
Yeah.
Because that was our first concern. Everyone in the building was at high risk.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we did well there. I don't think anyone was too harmed by the incident.
Right.
But there were some injuries. I mean,
it may be a workplace compensation thing that may come into effect here.
Yeah, I mean, I could use some financial support for the therapy that I'm going to need.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as a first responder, and I certainly think that we as a society should be absolutely giving you the resources you need to make sure that you are processing this and dealing with it in healthy ways.
Yeah, I keep smelling it. Like even when I went to bed, I went to lay down, go to bed, and I was smelling it, and I went, "Oh my goodness!" Like I'm nowhere near it. It's like there's a little bit of aftershock there, I think. I went to bed with a Febreze bottle. I was scared.
My God.
Scared for my life.
That's awful.
Yeah.
We will move forward from this.
We'll rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all we can do.
Yeah, just look to the future and just hope for the best,
Yeah.
Hope that Penny doesn't get into whatever she got into ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And we now have like a laundry chute out the window in our office.
Yeah.
Just in case she gets that little glisten in her eye. We'll just send her out the slide.
Yeah.
Because, frankly, to get to the front door in time, we'll never make it.
The blank chute, if you will.
Yes.
Send her down that.
Send her down the blank chute. Yeah.
Okay. Well, a dark day at Cabin Radio.
Yes.
But today's a new day. New beginnings, new bottle of Febreze. I think we'll recover.
Yes. There's a summer breeze smell in the hallways, and I think that's a sign of new light.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
We were going to talk Australian Football League Grand Final.
AFL Grand Finals this Saturday,
but we need both of our permanent residents, non-citizens in here to talk about that. Ollie's busy, so that's going to have to wait. We will tee up the Australian Football League Grand Final at a later date. In the meantime, of course, we know that there is 11 days until Halloween 2020.
Correct.
Something we are all looking forward to with, I think, a bit of guarded anticipation.
Yeah, but also just relief that it's happening. I mean, because there was that little stint where we thought, well, maybe this isn't going to go ahead.
Right.
Maybe people won't be able to trick or treat. Maybe kids won't be able to Maybe adults won't be able to trick or treat.
Hey,
They'll
adults
go
can
crazy.
trick or treat too. That's
yeah,
okay.
But it's frowned upon.
It is frowned.
We can do it because we have cameras shoved in people's faces.
That's right.
That's how we get away with it. And microphones. Yeah.
Yeah, we are documenting. We are not actively taking part.
Correct.
That's right.
But we still get candy.
And we expect.
Candy.
Lots of candy.
Yeah. We actually do quite well.
We do. We clean up. Yeah. I mean, we know the houses to hit, right? Like, we're not new at this.
Yeah, we're hitting the big ticket houses.
Yeah, we've been around the block a few times. We've gone out to a few Yellowknife Halloweens. We know the big ones to hit. You basically just follow the smartest looking kids.
Yeah.
And they know where to go.
And there's always a theme of, like, you got to find the full-size chocolate bars.
Yes.
Right? Like, if we hear one of those kids be like, they're giving away Kit Kats, full-size Butterfingers.
Yeah. Full cans
there.
of Coke.
Yeah, full cans of Coke.
Oh, yeah.
Did we get full cans of Coke one year?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, that's how you become one of the winning houses, right? You give full-size chocolate bars and full cans of Coke. That's how you save yourself from getting egged.
Or you're just the lazy house that, like, zipped over to Gastown last minute
and
just cleaned out the shelves.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Can you buy entire like boxes? You know how they get the stock boxes at convenience stores of chocolate bars? I wonder if you could just buy one of those.
I think you can.
Off them.
Yeah, you're going to pay way more money than you would if you were to buy like a wholesale.
Or maybe because like it's in bulk, maybe they have a bulk price.
I don't think they do.
They don't.
No. I know my dad did that once. Actually, I wanted some Australian treats.
Right.
And he went into a 7-Eleven and bought the box.
What would be an Australian treat?
Well, my two favorites. Actually, three favorites. Curly Whirlies. Yeah, that's a real name.
What's a curly whirly?
It curls and it whirls.
Okay. Yeah.
Caramel.
I'm with you so far.
Chocolate coated.
Ooh.
Delicious. Then there's the chomp.
The chomp.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just chomp, but I put for descriptive purposes.
Right.
It's a light nougaty wafer.
Nougaty.
Wrapped in chocolate again.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite.
Okay. So what could you compare that to? What's your closest North American comparison to a chomp?
I don't think there is one.
It doesn't sound like there's a curly whirly comparison.
No, and curly whirlies are just, it's the shape. It's
we have caramel bar, but it
looks like if you did like a drizzle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you took like melted chocolate and did like a drizzle. That's what a curly whirly looks like.
Oh.
So it's more like a fun treat because it looks cool.
Yeah.
But it's also delicious. And then there's the cherry ripe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this like a cherry blossom?
It's like a consistency of a coconut, almost like a Bounty bar.
Okay.
But instead of a coconut flavor, it's cherry flavor. Wrapped in chocolate.
Interesting. That I could maybe go either way on that one.
You got to be a big cherry fan, but I am, and
right,
definitely. I would say that's my number 2.
Right,
chomp, cherry ripe, curly whirly.
Okay,
but that's how I know you can buy the whole box from just a generic store like 7-Eleven.
Right, you bought just bulk curly whirlies.
My dad did
back in the day.
Yeah. He doesn't know really how to shop well.
Right.
So I said, hey, could you get me a bunch of these? He's like, yeah, sure.
Well, if someone's as you put it, lazy Halloween host, then that's just to the benefit of all of us.
It just benefits the kids.
Yeah, they're just going to bring home, a couple 12-packs of full-size cans of Coke. And
financially irresponsible.
Well,
but
to the
advantage of the kids.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we will once again here at Cabin Radio be covering all of the Halloween 2020 mayhem right from ground level, right from the streets of Yellowknife, as you have become accustomed to over the last several years. We're doing it slightly differently this year. I think we stumbled upon a working formula with last year's territorial election.
Yes.
In which we had Ollie in the studio running things behind the scenes.
Yep.
And we had a team on the ground, and we would go back and forth. This year, we're taking it even one step further. We are going to have 2 teams on the ground and Ollie at Cabin Radio Halloween headquarters in Cabin Radio Studios. I'm really looking forward to this.
Me too.
We're still kind of working out the details of what we're going to do format-wise. We have got our 2 teams picked out. I think they are perfectly set up.
Yeah.
I think of course we have got Jesse, who will be long done his quarantine at that point, and
looking for some candy.
Yes, with Sarah, negative Sibley, because of course we've learned that she's got a scrappy side.
Yep, extremely pessimistic.
A little bit, yeah.
In just the loveliest way,
and it works really well, and by really well, I mean they just fight with Jesse.
Yeah.
They have absolute chemistry. So, of course, they're going to be on the same team. And we'll see how it all plays out. Have you got your costume picked out already?
I do.
You do?
I do. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
It's not me again.
And I hope it comes in. What do you mean? I was behind the camera. You were trick-or-treating last year.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I was behind the camera. Remember you got attacked by those kids?
That's right, yeah.
You were hilarious, by the way. I got to say. And you're a host.
Good looking, too.
Yeah.
What can you say? I think I've got my Halloween costume picked out this year.
Are you willing to tell our listeners?
I think I'll just throw it out there. You alluded to how we got threatened by a child who had not gotten those full-size chocolate bars and apparently decided to take it out on us.
Or had too many, and he was hopped up on
Or,
chocolate.
had too many, and his pupils were dilated. We put that light that camera light in his face, and he just lost it.
Yeah, something flipped.
That
switch.
kid freak. I don't know if this was part of his costume, because I honestly don't remember what he was wearing. I was too terrified at the time.
I can only picture his eyes.
I just remember the kid saying, "Turn that stupid light off. I'm going to throw rocks at you."
He swung at the light, too.
He swung at the light.
Yeah, he threw a left hook.
And his parents are having a great time.
He's still
laughing
on the run
about it.
Cops haven't been able to find this.
They
kid.
haven't caught up with him yet.
Rumor has it every year at Halloween he comes out.
I think they think we made it up. But you know what? We have it on camera. We have the audio.
We have footage.
So
problem is they grow so quickly we'll never be able to identify him.
Oh, that's a good point.
Man,
that's a good point.
Stupid puberty.
Yeah. Well, I think I am just basically going to don a helmet this year. And that's basically going to be my costume. Just maybe put on a safety vest.
Practical.
High vis.
Yep.
Make sure that you don't throw rocks at the high vis guy, right? I'm the high vis cameraman.
Yeah, or you're like, oh, he's the only one I can see because it's dark out. I guess I'll throw rocks at that guy.
He's the brightest target I can find.
I'll try and hit him in the bright blue helmet he's wearing.
It's a black helmet.
Oh, okay.
So I think I should be.
Then you'll be okay. Then,
yeah.
right?
They won't be able to tell maybe that I'm wearing a helmet. They'll see the high vis. They'll think, well, not going to aim for that.
I'm not going to hit that pylon.
Thwack off the plastic, and I'll be laughing.
There you go.
Anyway, looking forward to it. Halloween 2020 should be fun. Look forward to that, and we will once again keep you informed of all of the mayhem that takes over the streets of Yellowknife Cabin Radio's Halloween 2020. That'll do it for Mornings at the Cabin. Look forward to our tee-up of the AFL Grand Final later on in the week.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.